Hello again, everyone. I'm Gary Gotza. Welcome to Race First coverage of Round 5 of Season 2 of the Velocity Online Racing DW12 Iconic Series. As we come to you today from the racing capital of the world, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Welcome back home again to Indiana. Joining me in the booth, he's a regular in the IndyCar Oval Series, and he's been helping me all season long bring true realism to these DW12 races. My man, Kyle Clindworth. Clindy, thank you for being here for the second straight night. What is your intelligence telling you that's going out here on the track today? As you said there might be a little strategy involved, that you can do some saving.
Yeah, I think if you're full push, you get 25 laps out of these reduced tanks. And seeing as our race is 80 laps long, if you do not want to pit on lap 75 for 5 laps of fuel at the end of the race, you've got to save 2 laps on 2 stints and 1 lap on another stint. So you're going to run 27, 27, 26 instead of 25, 25, 25, 5. Hopefully, everyone's going to flip-flop the lead. The package seems a little draggy. It'll allow people to flip-flop and save throughout the race, which means there will be passing and exciting things to watch on track. But if we get strung out in green flag, look for the top 2 or possibly 3 drivers to have to lift considerably in order to make it without pitting with 5 to go. Also, watch out for the tricky pit road entrance. You can't touch anything on these cars. It's bone stock, no tools. The brake bias is very picky. If you come in just a little too hot, you will lock the tires up, you will slide past the commit cone, you will speed, you will get a penalty, and that will ruin your day.
Watching action, Patrick Salvazzi on the racetrack. So, qualification today is a 4-lap run, but it is still the best of 4 laps. So we see people checking in now. Salvazzi actually on the pole, 227.417 miles per hour, right ahead of Tucker. Salvazzi in the wall. He might abort that run. Here's Jonas Weber to get some laps in. Has not turned a timed lap yet. Tucker provisionally second. And a 227.3 Strauss and 227.2 O'Sullivan, 227.1 Murph, making the lineup today to 227.1 as well. Forsyth. So we got a couple of ringers from some other series popping in here. 227 flat for Forsyth. Julian racing remotely in an unfamiliar place for him. 226.6 says not expect a lot from him today, but we'll still see. He is your points leader. We'll look at the points here real quick before we line up. As we transition into the points, there they are. Altena is your leader, followed by Edson Santos, who I do not think is in the lineup today. Liam O'Sullivan is, and John Christensen, Salvazzi, Colley, Inch, Bonnie, Meadows, and Tucker is your top 10. Julian almost has a 1-race lead, so if he scores very well here today, he could very well lock up the championship today. Those are the driver's points. Here are the team points. Altenham Autosport has himself about a half-race lead over Ryder, and then there's Watson Fortune, Alpa, and also Altena Autosport for the bottom spot there. As I think we are now getting ready to go racing, and they are going with the short pace lap on the backstretch. We have not seen this one very often.
Well, it's going to matter with these short tanks. That extra half lap of pacing, it might come into play.
Well, let's get the starting lineup in here because we're not going to have a lot of time, but we don't have a huge field. Patrick Salvazzi on the pole, 227. Right next to him, Josh Tucker. Mark Murphy checks in 3rd. Strauss in 4th. Liam O'Sullivan 5th. Craig Forsyth in 6th. Julian, the host with the most, is 7th. Dave Stedman, the silent assassin, is in 8th. Christensen 9th. Cody Meadows is in 10th. Dan Inch 11th. Bonnie 12th. Weber 13th. Gallus 14th. Collie 15th, and I believe that might be our entire field. I think. Let's double check here.
We also have Iker Figueroa.
We got Piguero, who did not turn a time, so not showing up on the overlay. But 16 cars for an 80-lap race, not a bad field. Hopefully we don't get a lot of multi-car wrecks, and we get some good racing out of this. Nice short race, 80 laps, 200 miles, 85% fuel, 4 sets of tires, 1 in the car, 3 in the pits. And as you were saying in the pre-race, that's probably more tires than they could possibly ever need here in a 200-mile race at Indianapolis.
Yeah, if the race last night taught us anything, you're only going to need maybe 1 or 2 sets. Track position seems to be king, but these cars are going to be very different from the IR18. A lot draggier and a lot more finicky on the steering inputs. So maybe fresh rubber is something prescribed more often.
All right. Well, and of course, they have tools, and these do not. Unofficial single lap speed record here at Indianapolis set by Ari Leyendijk on Fast Friday. Today is Fast Friday, as a matter of fact, in Indianapolis, but set back and way back in 1996 with a lap of 2:39.260. That is the unofficial, but the official lap record set on day 2 of quals in 96, which would be Sunday, 2 Sundays from now, would be the anniversary of that, 237.498 miles an hour. Saw them getting up today in the 233 neighborhood with the increased boost. So I don't think we're going to see 237 fall this year. We'll see, but we're coming to green flag right now here for the 200 miler.
Green flag.
At Indianapolis for the VOR Iconic Series.
Tucker wasted no time getting right behind Selvazzi as he dropped down low on the start. I'm telling you, I think being in the slipstream is going to be incredibly important. I think Tucker didn't want to spend a single second breaking the draft himself. Never mind, here he goes to the lead.
And Murph's going to follow on through. Everybody clean and green through the north end of the racetrack. Coming down the complete lap 1 here.
Look at Strauss going 3 wide. Oh, that's O'Sullivan, excuse me.
O'Sullivan, yeah.
Schemes are so similar.
The Ryder Esports squad has got some very similar looking cars out there. This is Murphy and Selvazzi. And then we had Sullivan back there, O'Sullivan. Here comes Murph to the inside. Working with Tucker now. A lot of drag, a lot of downforce these guys. You can see they're doing 2 different lines and very cleanly about it. It's not like they're pushing up to that second line and are trying to scramble to get the car back down. They're actually using that second line to race right now. And Mark's using that second line to get a good run. See some puffs of smoke there, is getting close to the wall. Murph's going to pull out again here, looking in 3. Murphy, Tucker, Selvazzi, Sullivan, Strauss, Forsyth, Altena, Stedman, Christensen, Meadows, top 10. And I do believe everyone's working on the strat that you were talking about. I think everyone's trying to stay in line, and they're looking to conserve. Except these 2 at the front, they are swapping the lead. They're going to get a little benefit of a draft and maybe extend their runs, but I really think the top 2, by just kind of virtue of leading ahead of the pack here, are going to probably pit earlier than everyone else, despite the fact that they're swapping the lead, trying to give each one a little time in the draft. It's just not enough. Ooh, Stedman on the outside of the Altena.
Altena is going to suffer being in the inside line there on the straight. Being lined up with the cars in front of you is far more important than having lane preference for the corner. which is something that will bear fruit later in the race when the leaders start sneaking.
And Julian's starting to fall back a little bit, too.
Yeah, all a product of not having a car in front of him to follow. Christensen is ducking lower for him to give him a little sniff of draft, but not enough to where he's right on someone's gearbox. It's worth 4 to 5 miles an hour. It is incredibly powerful. So powerful, in fact, that Iker Figueroa, Hugo Gallas, Bill Colley, and Dan Ench, the 4 cars at the tail of the pack, have lost touch with this lead pack and will not be able to regain it unless they work together aggressively.
There's Figueroa and Gallas and Colley and Inch. Colley just moves over, let Inch on by, so Colley, again, maybe trying to hit a number, but he's going to have some help to get there. Meadows in Altena. Meadows in that Ferrari-looking livery in the inside, or the outside, inside of your screen there. In the 1, we'll get the position. Now Christensen does a bit of a slide job in front of Bonnie, but gets the position there. And now he is riding shotgun on his teammate 6 at the moment. So today we're using a new set of cams from a new cam provider from Whiplash Sim Cams. All their information is in the description. Check them out to get more out of your sim racing. Check out Whiplash Sim Cams. Like them on Facebook. Follow them on Twitter. And he recommended some angles for us here on the cams. This is a really low shot here. Don't really get a chance to see a lot of the action going on here. I was kind of telling them the feedback. These low shots are good maybe for stock cars and slower cars, but not very good for the Indy cars when they're flying around so fast. So let's see.
Well, where do you think they get the name Whiplash from?
Here's camera 4. He says this is a good one that he thinks for IndyCar. I agree. A little shot down low into turn 3. Kind of a seat very similar to where I sat one year, but except I was very much higher where the camera was located.
Would it be great if they sold seats right behind the safer barrier? I'll pay a waiver. Let me sign the papers.
Maybe not after watching the flip today out of turn 2. I don't think I want to be that close to the safer barrier.
Gary, I'd be willing to strap in one of these things. I'm going to sit anywhere on the track.
Okay, I will tell you the best spot if we get a chance to see it. This is another good shot. Fan cam. And I like this one a lot. This is like way high in turn 3 grandstands. That's kind of where I'm used to. And then way high in the turn 4 grandstands. That's a very similar view right there. And then you get a good shot down the front stretch right there.
A pro tip, if you love the sun and love seeing as much as the racetrack as possible, sit in turn 1 or in turn 4.
And here's high above turn 1 in the that kind of covered portion. Here in the shirt. So here in turn 2, this is like right here in the suites, right there in the suites. You can look down into the cars and you can actually see their hands as they're turning. So I would say that the best action place to be on the racetrack for the best, you want to see the most bang for your buck. Not only will you get to see action on the racetrack, but if you pay very close attention, you will see what's going on in the cockpit as you see their hands moving to keep these cars underneath them going through the turn there in turn 2. Everybody's settling in about halfway through. What we're thinking about halfway through the, not quite halfway through the run. We're thinking more like 25 laps that we think what a run would be.
Yeah, probably 14 to 15 more laps here.
Okay, so about halfway. Leaders. Yeah, okay. All right.
I think everyone behind them will try to stretch that an extra lap or 2 or 3. You know, get the insurance early so you don't have to find it late, right? You can pedal down. Murphy and Tucker very content just swapping here back and forth lap after lap.
Man, on our pole sitter Salvazzi, very content just to ride in third.
I would love to be in third right now. You could sit there, you run 80% throttle and just stick right behind the two cars that are side by side in front of you. You're saving the most fuel. You have really good track position. I would be very, very patient at this stage of the race.
Now let's listen. Let's ride along with Patrick Savazzi. Last lap of 2:14.1. Let's listen. Yeah, he rolls out of it.
Yeah, just put it in 6th gear and stay right on the gearbox. Take all the air off your car, make the engine do as little work as possible.
And a view out the rear. And we got Stedman to the inside there. Oh, Julian on the outside. Wow, that was a great shot. But Stedman loses the shot. Julian recovering. Maybe he hit his number. Says it's time to move forward now.
He's also typing in chat while racing, Gary. This is something I've been known to do in the fixed IndyCar Open Series. Or sorry, fixed IndyCar series, and people always ask me how quickly I type and how I can type so quickly, but Julian seems to have the skill too. And they're gaggled up behind.
Yeah, sure are. We're watching them right now. Oh, Bonnie almost in the wall. I don't want that. I want this one. There we go.
Please, viewers at home, forgive me when I invariably will mess up all of the cars that look the same. I keep wanting to call out O'Sullivan or Tucker or Strauss. All is the same car, so please know that it's understandable. Tucker and O'Sullivan now running 1-2 as teammates. We'll see if they want to continue swapping or if they're content to run right in line.
Julian now up to third.
Yeah, he's pushing. Here he comes.
And he might just take it to the lead. And he does. Put the points leader to the lead. Tucker up high. Go! Oh! That was contact. That was contact. Let's double check. But actually, wasn't that was Sullivan. Let's try that again.
Telling man, they look exactly the same.
I did, yeah, I know. Is that contact? Yeah, look at that. Oh, that was really close. It didn't look like it. It looked like it on the feed, but when you ride his in car, it could have been close.
I'm zooming in on his right side pod and his ad blocker. Everything seems to be in working order.
All right, so he bit the bullet there. Julian to the inside, Tucker to the outside.
And that is a car that is not damaged. A car that can race like that.
And to the lead, back goes Tucker. So yeah, I've always wondered to people that could type and everything while they race. I race when I do race. And I actually need to reply back to Trey Shadid because he sent me a message the other day.
Well, because he finally accepted your friend request.
Do you not ever race Indy Fixed? And I'm like, I need to. I really need to. I just haven't. And I race in VR. So I can't. When I do race, I race in VR, and I cannot type. Everything is by. When you're in VR, you have the best experience. I feel the best experience racing anything. But everything is tactile. When you need to change something, you need to memorize all your buttons, on your wheel, not just what they are, but where they are. And you can't just take a peek and look down there and say, oh, well, there it is, while I'm going 227 down the backstretch in an IndyCar. So everything is by feel. So the guys that type in chat or even during the race, they type you something. I just can't respond because it's impossible to. Now, if I had like a spotter or a buddy, maybe it's Julian's girlfriend he's at his girlfriend's house. Maybe she's got the keyboard and she's typing for him. If I had a spotter or a buddy to do that for me, I would absolutely have them do that. But there's no way driving and typing. No, forget it.
Is it possible he taught his rabbits to type?
I don't know if his girlfriend's family would let him bring the rabbits all over to the house. I think he's staying at his girlfriend's house. But anyways, enough of the domestic situation of our leader. Watching Tucker now on the backside. Tucker got his first win in that. Well, I shouldn't say first win, but first broadcasted win on the top split at Phoenix this week on Tuesday. And apparently he was fast, and apparently he gave you some insight that opened up a few doors for you later in the week at Phoenix.
Yeah, it's actually the very next race. I went in, I hit a grand slam, won the pole, won practice, led every lap, won the race, and had the fast lap. So,
but that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did at Phoenix. He got the grand slam at Phoenix. And we talk about this before on the broadcast, where we do for this series. We've been predominantly this year, this first season, the first 2 seasons have been oval races. They will get into road course races next season. I don't know if I can release that schedule yet. I think I can. I'll have to take a look. But getting the Grand Slam on a road course is a lot easier than getting the Grand Slam on an oval. Is it not?
It is unbelievably easy to do it on a road course, especially if you're a space alien. On an oval, it is so hard. Indianapolis here, you can only set the fast lap if you're behind someone. And you don't lead the lap if you're behind someone.
So the closest I've gotten is I have done some fixed races. I have about 4 fixed races under my belt. Two wins under my belt. One here in Indianapolis, one here at one at Kentucky. And the Kentucky race is I won the pole, won the race, led every single lap. But because I was out front the entire time in clean air and didn't have anybody to race, I didn't get the purple lap.
Yep. All right, looks like Hugo Galles is gonna bring it in for some more fuel. He's been leading that backpack.
Well, this is a very early stop for him. Dan Inch at 22.
Giving up.
And that whole second group, well, half the second group comes. Here comes Eicher.
Dan Inch is coming off pit road right now. I don't believe he'll get in the way of the lead pack. He'll probably cycle out just behind them.
Christensen thought about using his teammate to get a little bit of a run, but Tuck's back in line as Inch stays low, let everyone on by. Tuck's in line, now resuming his race. Okay, so who is going to pit? We think pitting here is going to happen in the next 3 laps for everybody.
Yeah, if you can make it to 27, that's your number. You'd love to make it 27 laps. Hopefully, everyone here has saved just enough to do that.
And the leaders encounter Hugo coming off pit road, so they do have lap track. Ooh, a couple maybe kissing the wall there. Hugo doing a good job staying out of the way. Hugo has good etiquette.
So Josh Tucker comes down here on lap 25.
Okay, so and coming to 25, we just did 26, so he's on lap 25. He will cross the line at lap 26. So he's looking like he's going to be doing 25, 25, 25, and then a splash at the end. That's unless he can save some more.
Yeah, Altena is signaling he is pitting this lap as well. So he would need to go 27-27. It's grim prospect. It's hard to stretch that far.
Julian coming in with, I believe Murph's coming in with him, and so is the Silent Assassin.
Now, the cars still on the track now. These are the cars in the best position fuel-wise. They were running 4th on back for the most part for the first run. Makes it easier to save. Looks like almost everyone in this pack is pitting this lap.
Oh, this is going to be very interesting to watch. Pit entry on this one. Here we go. If this whole pack is coming in, this is your opportunity for a yellow. These guys that just stopped. Here they come. Here they come. Here they go. Oh, wow! Great job, guys. Wow.
Yeah, they feel the same. They did a great job. No lockups, no penalties. We are flying through this race.
And now these guys that just came off of pit road, they're running, and they're just so tightly. Look at that. It's almost one car, but there's 3 cars. On the head-on shot, it only looks like one car, but they're so tightly together, it looks like one shot when you look at the forward profile of them. And they are going to pull out ahead of this group just barely.
Liam O'Sullivan has a large gap.
Yes, he does.
He needs to get behind other cars to replicate that 27-lap stint. I'm wondering whether or not Tucker is going to be a sacrificial lamb for his team, being the lead car, plow the air out of the way so his teammates can finish 1st and 2nd.
Well, he would be helping Liam in the points. And Liam did break through here recently. He just broke through on the IR05 series, so he got that long-awaited win. And we have seen as Meadows and Murph and Twin Rick. Oh, Julian going to go 3 wide. But we've seen in racing history, once you break through, it's like the floodgates burst open. I seem to remember when Greg Moore won his first IndyCar race. It seemed winning for him was easier after that.
Yeah, there's definitely a mental block that exists prior to you claiming your first victory in any series. iRacing, even in rookie street stocks, you'll see people who have been on the service for 6 or 7 years and never won, and they've never won in low I-rating splits with a bunch of rookies because they just don't know how to win or compose themselves in the closing laps of a race, or how to drive defensively correctly. Those are skills you learn, you pick up over time, and the first time you do it, you remember, and then you do it again and again. Hopefully.
Craig around Stedman. Stedman up very high. He's going to get lose 2 spots here to Craig and Silvazzi. Let's reset the field. But real quick, before we do, we want to thank everybody for watching. If you enjoy race first coverage of the VOR IndyCar DW12 Iconic Series and respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you'll miss out on future race verse broadcasts. We're going to get a day off tomorrow. I'll be actually in the booth with the FTN guys when the VOR IR18 series is in Suzuka. But we will be back at it Sunday night with the DW12s one more time with a lot of these same drivers in the Dark Horse DW12 series as they go to New Hampshire. Only 3 more races left in their season. So join me and Andrew Wood, the Catalyst, as we bring you the action there. And then join me and David Kreutz on FTN for the VOR IR18 series at Suzuka. Getting into a very important portion of the broadcasting schedule as we got a whole host of races coming up at Indianapolis. It's that time of year.
It's gonna be May.
Well, here, I'll tell you this, though. So, as you know, we'll put you on the spot here a little bit. Penske figuratively and literally owns the speedway. We've talked about this. From 72 to today, the team has amassed 19 different wins between 14 different drivers. Can you name the 14 different drivers?
No, of course not.
Oh, come on. You can name some of them. Some of them are easy. Newgarden.
Yeah, he did it last year because Penske owns the track and rigged it for him.
Okay, so how about, can you remember any others?
Was Helio ever with the captain?
Yes, he had 3 of his 4 wins was with the captain.
Okay. I don't know.
So who stopped Helio from getting 3 straight? And don't say Paul Tracy, because that...
I honestly, Gary, I don't know my 500 history.
Oh, okay.
I am a NASCAR convert. So.
Oh, well, good. We're glad we got one of you. So here they are. The one that everyone forgets is Mark Donohue. That's in 72. That was the very first 500 win. Everyone forgets that. Julian underneath one of the Ryder cars, move him up to, or trying to underneath Sullivan there, move him up to 3rd by a nose. So the next one after that, it was a long wait for Penske. I mean, you think Penske, that he just gets these wins year after year after year. It was a long wait between his first and his second win. 7 years was Mears in 79. That was his second 500-mile win. Mears
His name is Rick Mears, uncle of Casey Mears, one-time NASCAR winner.
There you go. And brother of Roger, multi-time Indianapolis starter here. And actually, I think Casey's actually done some IndyCar races in the past. I don't know. I can't remember if he's had some Indianapolis starts. I'll have to look. But so Mears got all 4 of his wins with the captain. The next driver to do it actually was just a couple more years after Mears, and that was the disputed 81 race when Uncle Bobby got the win and then retired. Of course, remember the morning after that race, USAC scoring. You know, USAC always used to have the all race results were unofficial until the next morning after they were reviewed that night by USAC, and then they would post up the final standings on their on the timing and scoring window office there at the racetrack, and that's where everyone would see who actually gets the official win. Julian to the lead around Murph going in the 1, and everyone was shocked to see the next morning Mario Andretti, a 2-time Indianapolis 500 winner following the 1981 race. Bobby was penalized for passing a number of cars under caution. And so for about a period of 6 months, Mario was a 2-time Indy 500 winner. He had the trophy. They took pictures. They did everything. And then the courts were involved and overturned the decision and gave the win back to Uncle Bobby. So Bobby then retired there after getting his win in 81 to become a 3-time champion, and then robbing once again the racetrack taketh away from the Andretti family. Next win wasn't for a while, and we'll take a look at Murph because it involves his livery. Danny Sullivan, right here in this part of the track, as a matter of fact, was the spin to win. Danny Sullivan was the next winner for Penske. He won in 95. Big Al getting win number 4 in 87. 85 for Sullivan, 87 for Big Al. And then a little bit of a wait. We had to get Fittipaldi, his second 500-mile win, which is really the cursed win. That's the one where he decided he wanted to drink orange juice and Victory Lane. And
milk?
Yeah, instead of milk. And I firmly believe it cursed his career because he only had 4 more wins, and by the middle of 96, his career was over. So he got the win in 93, but by the middle of 96, so 2.5 years later, his career was over. And I firmly believe he upset the gods by drinking that stupid orange juice. So Vazzi's struggling. Our pole sitter down 10 spots back to 11th. I don't know, maybe he's trying to hit a number.
He's struggling, Gary.
Well.
He's saving, and so is everyone in front of them. You'll see they're stacked up 2 by 2. Julian was playing games in front of the field. He slowed down to about 190.
Well, look at these lap times that we're turning. 2:06. These guys are much faster than that. Much faster than that. Christensen with the purple lap, by the way. That's why you see next to his name on the tree to the left, the number 5 being in purple. We track the purple lap. He is currently a 41.849. I could translate that for you with the best lap mile per hour number there. So there, Christensen, 2:15.9. Okay, so that's his best lap. We are at Tucker is to the 2:12.8. Let's see what Murphy did. 2:12.3. Let's go to last lap mile per hour. That might give you a better. Yeah, there you go. And the numbers fall off, and that's not because of tire wear.
Oh, they are drinking as little fuel as possible.
And then after Fittipaldi in 93, Big Al in 94 with one of the beasts. And again, this is where I believe the curse was that bit Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi had he had a lap lead on everybody for that race and crashed, coming to about 15 to go. So again,
J.R. Hildebrand.
Well, J.R. didn't do anything wrong curse-wise. He just tried to pass a car on the high side when he probably shouldn't have, and that's just a rookie. Fittipaldi should know better. He should have known better, in my mind. You don't play around with don't bring freaking orange juice into the. I mean, if you're gonna have orange juice at the track, then you're in the snake pit, and it better have vodka in it. But don't bring milk.
Drink and drive,
no, right. Watch the race, pass out, get up, the next day, then go home. That's if you're in the Coke lot. And when I say the Coke lot, I mean the Coca-Cola bottler lot. That's right off of turn 4. Although I wouldn't be surprised if there was some illicit things going on in that lot. I've been in that lot before. Castro Neves won 3 of his 500-mile races, and of course, after Little Al won, then in 95, Penske didn't qualify at all, and then the split happened in 96, so the next time we see a Penske car here in Indianapolis is 2001, and that's Castro Neves, who won in 2001, 2002, and then he had a good shot of getting 3 straight, but finished second. Very few drivers have had a good 3-year run as Castro Neves had, where he went first, second, finishing second to Gilles de Ferran. And so he's honoring actually Gilles de Ferran this month with his helmet. And
rest in peace.
Yeah, and rest in peace. Gilles had passed away late last year. And I say that really, if it wasn't for Gilles, you'd probably be looking at Castro Neves as a 5-time winner now at this point.
He'd be the only 5-timer, right?
Right. Well, and then some people can still argue if it wasn't for Sato and if it wasn't for Hunter Ray, he would be an 8-time winner, I think.
You know what, Gary? People who say what ifs, you've got to finish first to finish first.
Right.
Right? So, what ifs only count in
horseshoes and hand grenades.
No, that's not even what ifs. Those are close enough, right?
And the next
Racing's about as objective as it gets.
Yes, it is. The next Penske win was Sam Hornish on that hot day in 2006. Then a bit of a wait until Juan Montoya got his second Indy 500 win here for the general or for the captain. Excuse me. I was watching some.
He raced for Penske in IndyCar, and then he raced for Chip in NASCAR.
He raced for Chip for his first win. He raced for Chip in 2000 for his first win here at the Brickyard. He dominated that race. That race was so boring. He led like 164 laps, and there was a bit of a battle between he and Buddy Lazier in the closing stages. He just slowly pulled away from Buddy and won by a huge margin, and it's probably one of the biggest margins of victory in the modern era. Probably second to, I think. Breck had a pretty big margin of victory because everyone was fuel saving at the end of that particular race. But yeah, he got his. He came into IndyCar, was brought into IndyCar by Chip Ganassi, and then he went to NASCAR. And then when he came back after NASCAR, the captain picked him up and raced for the captain for about 3 or 4 seasons. Got a 500-mile win here, and got a 500-mile win at Pocono. Almost won the championship, but kind of failed down the stretch. And if it wasn't for the last race at Sonoma, they had where it was double points, and he just didn't have a good race, and Dixon did, and Dixon got one of his 6 championships at the result of Montoya having a bad day. And after Montoya, who actually was fighting with Will Power down the stretch, Will Power finally got that long-awaited win, 2018, with the first time in the new cars. Pagenaud came back the next year, get the win there in 2019. And then Newgarden last year, which really, I'm still going to say it. It shouldn't be Newgarden's win. That should have. Now, Penske, you might want to put next to Penske's entertainment group name, Penske Sports Entertainment, because under any other Indy 500 time and period, that race would have finished under caution, and that race would have been that would have belonged to Marcus Ericsson to get 2 straight. That's Scott Christensen. Best thing you've heard. Yes, better have vodka in it. Well, that's. There's more than just those type of screwdrivers down in the infield there. There's, of course, you got what you have in Gasoline Alley, and then you have what's in the old Snake Pit. Although I'm sure there might be some of that stuff going on in the new Snake Pit. I'm not sure. That's more of a party spot now. 47 of 80. We're coming. Oh, Bonnie. Almost finding the wall there in the short chute.
Okay.
All right, so we are 19 laps into the current stint for everybody, except Stedman is 1 lap longer.
Eicher is pitting in again this lap. Caguera.
Here he comes off of 4. Getting down and get down to the pit road speed limit there at those yellow cones. So the difference between the NASCAR configuration of the oval and the IndyCar configuration of the oval are the cones. The cones for NASCAR are right at the wall. For IndyCar, they are about a football field or so inside the wall.
I think NASCAR also uses... Oh, no! Stack up on the front stretch. Everybody's okay. I think they use a smaller or less obstructive attenuator protector. I think they might use sand barrels rather than the big water barrels that they use for IndyCar.
Of course, NASCAR returning to the oval this year. We'll see how the next gen car does on the big track. Really, all moving the NASCAR to the road course is it gave an opportunity for IndyCar to be the opening act to NASCAR, which I'm still not a fan of. But it did give.
They should have ran multi-class. They should have ran a multi-class endurance race with both of them on the track at the same time.
That would have been awesome. Oh, Cody Meadows on the outside of Julian. Power move. Nice job.
I think Julian's going as hard as he can to conserve here, and he's going to lose a ton of track position while doing so. I would not expect Cody Meadows to be the last person to get tired of how light Julian's foot is right now.
Some of these guys have not had a lot of stream time, been on cam, and they want to be on cam. I don't blame them. Here's Christensen, and here's Forsyth battling. So yeah, about the only good thing that the road course really did, I think, is gave Allmendinger a chance to. He had his career path was IndyCar before he screwed around and had to end up. Go ahead.
Didn't he win like 3 cars straight in Champ Car?
Yeah. Oh, got a car going to the inside road on the backstretch. Not sure who that is. Tucker? Is he out of fuel?
He is.
You don't have to use pit road to come to pit road. You know what I mean? So I wonder what's going on there.
No, he's out of fuel, Gary.
He's under power.
No, he's not. He's going 55 on a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit. He's giving it just enough gas to maintain pace, but he's not keeping the speed limit pegged on the limiter. He's got fumes left in that tank. Because remember, he only went 25 on the first stick.
He needs to hit his marks then. He cannot slide through. He absolutely cannot slide through. He cannot come up short either. Oh, there it is. You see his car go up. Should hear the engine come back. There it goes. And he's down and away. That's going to cost him a lot of time.
Yeah, he will not be even close to this lead pack.
Sullivan, Meadows, Altena, Forsyth now. Your top 4, Christensen. He's becoming quite the Indianapolis Motor Speedway whisperer. He won here in the IR05 series. Just coming off a win at Daytona in the IR18 series. And he's got himself in contention here I would say now, starting to get late in the going as we are now coming with one more, our final pit stop. Here comes at 77, Tucker lap down. Christensen might just want to let him go. Yeah, woo, slides right in front of him. Christensen coming to pit road. Whole bunch of people coming to pit road.
53 to 54, you'll have to go 27 on that last stint. I mean, it's easy to coast across the line, but I'd rather be coming to it with a full head of steam, and I think Liam O'Sullivan is going to be in a prime position to do that. Cody Meadows, Craig Forsyth, everyone on the track. Oh no, I think Meadows is out of fuel. He just slowed abruptly on the backstretch. Maybe he realized he needed to save really hard to make it to the pit road this time.
All right with him. Here he comes. Oh, get down, get down, get down, get down, get down. All right, good job, everybody.
And Julian saved a ton of fuel that run. He pit on 24 coming to 25 last time and is now pitting on 54 coming to 55. That is an incredible save. It will allow him to be in contention for the win of this race.
Down and away, everyone done. Here we see Murph go by on the high side there through one. And Murph is going to be the leader by a long shot. So let's reset the field, but real quick before we do that, if you're just joining us, this is Race First coverage of the VOR IndyCar DW12 Iconic Series coming to you from the world's greatest race course, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We completed 55 of a scheduled 80 laps. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. The DW12 Iconic Series is brought to you by IFS Personal Financial Planning. Let's get you back there to Bonnie, who is our benefactor there. He is representing IFS Personal Financial Planning. They specialize in helping their clients make most of their savings with holistic financial planning that is tailored to their specific needs over the course of their lifetimes. On average, they've been working with their clients for over 20 years, as we are 2x2 going into turn 3. Helping them navigate the complexities of investments, just like they navigated turn 3 there, getting all on the line. And the uncertainties of markets and the ever-changing legislative landscape. Contact Alexander Bonney to find out more. And if you need to do that, just join the VOR Discord and DM him in the VOR Discord. That's the best way to contact him, as Bonnie is in 8th. So going back to seeing racing under red flags, when I buy a ticket for a 500-mile race on IndyCar, the expectation is I'm going to see a 500-mile race. So it's
not a mile more.
Right, but it's no green-white checker, so we'll throw the red flag in there. But, you know, it's part of racing that yellow flags come out, and they come out at opportune times and inopportune times. Rick Mears has one of his 4 wins under caution. Castro Neves has one of his 4 wins under caution. Dario Franchitti, each one of his wins came under caution. You know, I don't see what...
Or the strongest argument against not racing or not displaying the red flag is consistency, right?
Yeah.
If the series sets a precedent for either a year or with a statement saying we are going to do everything in our effort to give our fans a green flag finish without a green white checkered, right? That means we're going to red flag if there's 1 to go or 2 to go every time. Great. Just do it every time, right?
Yeah.
It does put the drivers in a position where their safety may be compromised, especially at these big ovals. But if that's something that the series wants to do, the drivers are going to have to put up or shut up, right? I think the biggest turnoff for many people, including myself and you, it sounds like, is that last year it was not consistent with the historical trend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
What they should have done then is that when Sato, when he won his second 500, that should have been clearly a red flag then at that point.
I think they ran, what, 6 laps under caution to end
Yeah,
that race?
and then they had to end that caution, end that race under caution. And so if they came to, and they made the decision like unilaterally, and no one, and it was not made publicly, it's like, if they came to us and say, okay, at the start of this May, we're going to guarantee a green flag finish for the 500, regardless if there's 1 lap left or whatever, that's fine. Say that, let us know the expectations. And you'll hear everyone complain, but still they'll get over it because it's not going to be a surprise. And that way it's less of a surprise to the drivers because the drivers didn't know.
Well, when Willpower is leading with 3 to go and there's a caution this year and no red flag, I think that's when people can actually start grabbing pitchforks.
Stedman and Christensen swapping back and forth, trying to run down Murphy. We should probably change the ticker to see what the gap is. To Stedman up to Murphy is 1.7 seconds. Less now than 20 to go. I'm not sure if they're gaining.
So honestly, if I were Murphy or anyone who's going to be close or not make it on fuel, which would be, I'd say, about half of this lead pack, I would pit as soon as I can. Because if there is a caution, everyone else will probably pit for tires, and you'll cycle out in front of them. But it just feels so bad, right? You kind of want to lead and have your name up front and pad your stats, but it's not the best thing to win the race.
Let's reset the field after the last set of pit stops, which might be the last stops for a couple people. We think. We're not sure. Murph is your leader. Christensen, Stedman, the silent assassin there, Stedman there in P3. These two are leading a group back to Silvazzi that are trying to run down the leader. That's from 2nd to 7th. Then slightly behind them a little bit and trying to run them down as well is a group led by Bonnie and Strauss, as Bonnie just blinks out there. That's pulling Julian up from 11th. And they're trying to run this group down. A little bit further back for Julian is Hugo Gallas by himself. He maybe might be able to catch that group. I don't know. We'll see if they start racing each other. Josh Tucker, by running out of fuels and just lost a massive amount of time coming to pit road during his last stop. He is now in 11th. He needs a caution, and we have not had a caution yet here in this race. Dan Ench in 14th, Bill Colley in 15th, and Iker Peguero here in 16th. That is your 16-car field. The situation as we see it here, with under 20 to go, we're now about coming to 15 to go.
And to illustrate clearly the difference between Mark Murphy and Josh Tucker, if he pits right now, he goes a lap down. If Murphy pits, he'll come out right with the leaders or behind the leaders on the lead lap because he pits from so far ahead rather than from so far behind.
And he hit pit road. When he hit pit road last time, he hit it hard. He was only in the lane for 33.6 seconds. The only other driver in the 33-second bracket was Silvazzi. Everybody else was 34 or more. He was in the box 7.8. He was one of 2 drivers to only have a 7-second pit stop. It was him and also Silvazzi. So these 2 guys, Silvazzi, our pole sitter, who's that last car in your shot there, that purple car, a little wobbly coming off turn 2 right there in front of the Riley Children's Hospital Suites. He and Murph have been doing the best off pit road, although Patrick at this point is not in a position to really win unless we get a late caution or this group somehow manages to run down the leader. Stedman has now, and that group has now got it down to 1.1 seconds. So they are starting to chip away at this.
They were 4 seconds back at one point, but Murph has been giving up about a tenth or a tenth and a half every lap. And as soon as they get into the draft envelope, that lead will disappear entirely within a lap. Totally. So when they get down to about 1 second, that lead is going to evaporate.
Murph there, and a homage to the Miller American, driven by Danny Sullivan. 85.
Gary, would it be possible to put on the scoreboard last lap pit, so everyone at home knows who the contenders are here?
I do not, but I can tell you when last lap pit. Murphy on 53, Christensen on 54, Stedman on 49, Forsyth on 55, Meadows on 55, Sullivan on 55, Salvazzi on 54. We'll just go back to 7th spot because I think those guys are 1st through 7th have your legitimate shot now at the win of this race. If that second group, or the third group as it would be, led by Strauss, Bonney, and joined by Weber and Altena, can join that second group, which is 2nd through 7th, then we'll start talking about if anybody in that second group has anything for these guys up front. But that is your that's your situation for the top 7.
And to make it clear again, anyone who pit on 54 is going to make it with a little bit of saving. Anyone who pit on 55 can make it flat out.
So the first of that's Forsyth. And we'll get the camera on Craig there, who's just saving more as he is right here, just kind of pacing himself.
Yeah, saving tire is also important. It allows you to use the outside like we saw Indica Scarlett do last night to her victory in the FIS.
Very popular one. And I forgot to tell her, and she did it anyways, but on races that we broadcast at Indianapolis, the rule is when you win, ooh gosh, battling back to the back. Who's that?
Strauss.
That's Weber and Strauss kind of jockeying for position off of 2. General rule, here comes Sullivan and Meadows fighting now. Okay, back in line. They can't really afford to race at this point. They got to stay in line. The rule is on any race that we broadcast that if you win at Indianapolis on the oval for one of the big events, you need to record yourself and post it on the Discord channel. You're drinking milk. You don't have to pour it on yourself like Caleb Binsey did for the ERL 500, but that's part of the fun. But yeah, you have to record yourself drinking milk, and to her credit, she did that. So. I think we probably need to remind Christensen to do it for his win in the IRO5 here at Indy, and whoever does it tonight, we need to remind them they got to do it here for this win at Indy, to go drink the milk. At least drink the milk. Don't pour it over yourself. But that's part of the fun, I guess. I still very much want Newgarden to when he wins the 500, because he will. You know he will.
What if he never does?
He'll win the 500. Come out,
he'll
drink.
Be Tony Stewart. They don't know 500. Like it'll be his what do they call it? Albatross.
Stedman falling off the pace. He's got to come to pit road.
And Bonnie just crashed.
Caution, yellow flag.
Oh no! Stedman can't come to pit road. And this is Bonnie and Weber, I think. He just pushes up in the wall. Oh.
Now I'm wondering if Mark Murphy is going to stay out and save or come in for gas.
Two of our guys out, unfortunately. And that all the strategy now out the window.
I don't think so. I don't think Mark Murphy is out of the woods, Gary. He pit so early and ran so hard. It's going to be very difficult for him to make it to the end here without getting more fuel.
He is saving. He is saving. We're riding on with him right now. And you see right there, those are the caution indicators for these cars. And I'm sure that's the last thing he wanted to see. And he's making the turn down pit road.
I told you, Gary, Mark should have pit under green when he had the lead. When he had a 4.5 second lead, he should.
You
have
did.
pit.
You called it. You did call it.
I'm just saying, you gotta big brain these moments if you want to put yourself in a position to win.
You know, I'm thinking it's going to be a while before I do another fixed 500. My one and only one, I finished 4th, so I still feel pretty good about that. I had a shot at 3rd. I was underneath 3rd with about 2 to go, going into 1, and it was just so hot, and the tires were so worn that I just couldn't hold the spot, and I just fell back to 4th. But I think I need you on the box for me to call these, because I probably would go, what? You want me to pit now? But you're proving that absolutely, if you would have done a green flag stop during that stint, you'd cycle right to the front.
Well, you'd cycle behind Patrick Silvazzi. You'd be the first car on fresher tires. So, I mean, Murphy is not in a terrible position. His position would be 1 spot better. Maybe a couple, depending on if he found a drafting partner out on the track after his stop. So, I mean, like, it's 6 in one basket, half dozen in the other.
So now Christensen is your leader. He has been on a bit of a roll. He won in the IRO5 here in Indianapolis a few weeks ago for a breakthrough win for him. Then broke through in the IRO5 series with a win at Daytona. And we're coming to green now.
Field isn't ready, Gary. This could be messy.
Green flag, green flag.
Watching him just kind of get reorganized in the back. Here we go. Staring at a win in Indianapolis, but here comes Craig Forsyth on the outside, and that car in that livery has seen victory lane here at Indianapolis. Not necessarily with the 4D, but in that Forsyth Racing livery, and we're 3 wide going into 1. Down low, O'Sullivan sends it. He is now your leader. Christensen right behind, Forsyth and Meadows still hanging tough, and here's Silvazzi, our pole sitter, back in the thick of things, 7 to go.
And there's Murph on his new tires. He's coming.
Murph hanging it out on the high side. Here comes the Dragon.
Forsyth takes the 99, dials up the high line, gets by Christensen, and he'll have sole control of second and all of the draft from Liam Sullivan. Mark Murphy will not be denied. He's up to 4th.
All your draft are belong to us. Forsyth to the lead. Of course, that livery won with Jacques Villeneuve, or Villeneuve, depending on if you're Paul Page or not.
Here comes Murph. He's going to go in the middle.
New tires looking pretty smart right now. And I'll tell you why. That's why, right there. 114-degree track temperature. New tires matter. Here comes Murphy outside in the 1. Sullivan and O'Sullivan against Sullivan's livery going through the chute. Going through 2. Looking down from the sweets, down the backstretch. Julian going 3 wide, 4 to go. We got a qualification run, 10 miles. Murph wanted to cut down, wasn't going to quite be clear, still side by side with O'Sullivan. Into the north end of the racetrack, still side by side. Through 4, now staring at the front straight, coming to 3 to go. Clipping the yard of bricks right now as we go 3 wide with Forsyth on the high side into 1. Forsyth staying up there. Not a lot of room and not a lot of grip with these older tires. These guys with older tires, 23 laps old versus 5-lap old tires of Murph. Problem with Murph and O'Sullivan is O'Sullivan has the low side, which is the preferred lane going into the corners. He might also been just clear, but stayed high.
It was very close. He would have chopped his nose.
Coming to 2 to go. Let's race alongside.
Trouble behind it, Stedman.
Caution, yellow flag.
Big Murphy
Who
won.
leads at the line? Murph, led at the line. That's your race right there. Your race is right there. And what happened to the assassin? Coming through the short chute in the 4. And did someone, what got one of the cars going really high, cuts down, and just takes out poor Dave. That was Strauss. And Murph, there is your margin of victory right there. That's about as close as I can get. And I think the caution is out at this point. Yes. So that is the last of the race there, I believe. We're not going to go. You'll watch them come to the white flag here. And as we were saying before, yep, and we're showing final lap. So Murph getting a win at Indianapolis. It's a long-awaited win for him. Not in the car that he necessarily wants, but it's a great warm-up win to the rest of the month that he has slated before him with the, of course, the fixed and open Indy 500s. And anytime a win at Indianapolis is a special win. One of my fixed wins that I have was right here at Indianapolis, and then in the fixed Indy 500, I finished 4th. Back in the old sim racing days of IndyCar Racing 2 and the sim leagues that we ran, I had 4 wins here. Oh, this place is special for everybody in sim racing.
Special for everyone in racing in general.
Yeah.
In general.
Of course, Mark is a native here in Indiana, lives up near South Bend, north part of in Irish territory. But he will bring the Miller American back to victory lane for the first time since 1985, and he'll be joined alongside kind of a driver he's been helping out and talking to a little bit. Liam O'Sullivan will finish 2nd. And flying alongside in 3rd is Craig Forsyth. And our pole sitter Salvazzi comes home in 4th. And Julian works his way up to 5th. Your biggest gainer is Gallons and Connolly. They are up 5 spots. But everyone up here at the front kind of finished where they started, within 2 or 3 spots. So a great run for everybody. They're wrecking them on the backstretch there.
Teammates trying to give a congratulatory shove, and they get into the winner there. Mark Murphy, I don't think he meant to be a part of that.
All right. Let's get into the standings here and get into the interview room where I'm sure we're going to have some happy folks. Your winner, Mark Murphy, led 29 laps. 3 stopped it and improved 2 positions. So a good race for him. I would say that even despite the win, this is a pretty typical Murph race. Up at the front all day long, and some good strategy. And I wonder on that last stop how much of what happened at Motegi in the DW12 series for Dark Horse played into that, because he came to pit road very hot in the DW12 series in Dark Horse at Motegi, and then while leading, and spun coming to pit road, and realized that in these cars you have to play with that brake bias. So I was wondering how possibly that impacted that. We'll talk to him in victory lane, see if that did. O'Sullivan getting improving 3 spots, leading 10 laps. Craig Forsyth led 2, improved 3 spots. So Vazzy started from the pole, just hung up front all day, just really had nothing for the lead or the leaders, but finishes 4th. Altena up 2 spots, led 9 laps during overlaps, or late in some stints, and finishes 5th there for a top 5 for him. We'll see if that actually makes the points untouchable for him at the next race. I think it will. The big name that he was actually fighting, though, is O'Sullivan. So O'Sullivan might fight to see another day against Julian. We'll see. I think he does, actually, if I think about it here. Meadows, great run for him in 6th, up 4 spots. Tucker, not a good day for him. Led 28 laps, but ran out of fuel, we think. Cost him a lot of time in 7th with a 77. Christensen, thought maybe he might have a shot here to another Indy win. Getting 2 wins at Indy and 1 at Daytona in a short period of time. That's hitting the big tracks for sure. Hitting the definitely diamonds there on the provisional career Triple Crown, but finishes 8th. Hugo Gallant's very quietly 9th. Our winner at Gateway, Bill Colley, comes home 10th. Good finish for him. Dan Inch 11th. Bonnie fortunately ends his race early and 12th. Pagero 13th. Strauss also ended early, along with Dave Stedman in the 14th and 15th. And Jonas Weber also ended early in 16th. Only 2 cautions for 4 laps. Not a bad race. It was a lot of action, but it was a lot of making numbers work until that late caution came out.
I really wish it hadn't, Gary.
No, I agree with you, yes.
Mark deserves the win, but it would have been very interesting to see who would have had the gas and had enough gas to start pushing and when. You know, just me pining for what could have been. The what if you will.
Well, let's go check out the interview room. The purple lap belonged to Christensen. He finished with that one, by the way. So good on him. And see what we got in the waiting room. We don't have Craig, although I see Craig, and I will pull Craig down here first for his podium interview. Hey, Craig, got you in the booth here with Gary and Clindy. Are you streaming right now?
I am streaming right now. I'm currently watching the crash that ended the race.
Oh, well, tell everybody that's watching hi for us. But congratulations. I would say this is a very typical Craig Forsyth race. You were up there all day. You work your way up into position to win. Fortunately, the caution comes out and ends it a little bit earlier, but you had that Forsyth car and that 4D sponsorship in a position to get a win here late in the running. And that's pretty typical Craig Forsyth and your driving skill. You're always there at the end when it counts.
Yeah, no, I was surprised that we didn't get, I mean, the guys that went for it from the start, I knew they were counting on a caution, and that, I was surprised we didn't get a caution till the end there. Or towards the end, which was at that point, because the guys that, we'd fuel saved, I think it was me, Cody, lost my brain, Josh, I think all of us were on the same lap. We were pretty sure that John couldn't make it because he pitted 1 lap before us and had done a lot more time doing the leapfrog. That's why I gave up doing the leapfrog at the end there, was because it was not making my fuel numbers happy.
Right.
And so we just backed out of that. But I mean, that's the standard thing. That's the standard thing for me. Is like, if there's a way to make it with a fuel save, you keep that 40% chance that the fuel save pays off in your back pocket, because there's no point putting your foot to the floor if you're just going to have to take a splash at the end because it stayed green.
Right. Clindy, you got anything for our third place finisher here?
I've got actually two questions. One, early in the race, you got run into the back of. Anything that could have prompted that, or anything that you want to say to your further competitors? And then secondly, what do you think of the final restart and how it was accelerated? I just want to know your opinions.
I think I had 6 0X's that race from various. It's just, I mean, when everyone is in different stages of fuel saving, you create that type of speed differential between cars who, one guy's in 6th but is only at 70% throttle, another guy's in 5th and is at 90% throttle, and so you create those little accordions within the pack. There was that the one big one that happened on the back straight where I think that's the first time I've ever had a pack on the back straight accordion. That's just not something you see very often. So we got away with it. So I was happy with that. But no, that's how the racing works, right?
Well,
any thoughts on the final restart?
Sorry. Oh yeah, the final restart for sure. Yeah.
Sorry, thank you. That's what I was missing. Right. I can't comment on that. It seemed quick.
All right. Well, final shout outs. Anyone to say hi to? Friends, family, sponsor, teammates? Go right ahead.
Thanks to everyone who joined the stream. And it was a good race. I mean, it stayed green for almost the whole race. That's great for VOR. I mean, we had a great race, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. And heck, I know I had a good time. And I just watched the last lap wreck, and that was pretty bad. So that's good watching. But no, I hope everyone enjoyed it, and shout out to Jim and 40 Racewear and you guys at Raceverse, and thanks for being here, guys.
No problem. Well, thanks for being in the race. Have yourself a good rest of your Friday, and I think we still got time to watch Fast Friday action at Indianapolis on Peacock. So that's where I'm heading next. I'm sure that's where you are as well. So congratulations on third, and and go back to watching TV. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Stay safe.
All right. Let's bring up Liam now. Hey, Liam. Got you here in the booth with Gary and Clindy. Man, just up at the front all day today, and really, it was going to be a nice shootout there at the end, but then the caution came out, and when the caution froze the field, you were just a tick behind Murph, and that really just ended the day and costed you a win.
Yeah, I mean, it's annoying that it's Indy and that's how I missed out, but at the end of the day, I took the win from Matthias like that at Fontana in the Iro 5.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I had that coming for me, I think. So, yeah, I mean, goes around, comes around in a way of sealing it in that way. But, yeah, I mean, the caution was... The thing is, John, if it stayed green, John and Dave were never going to make it, and it was going to be me and Craig to decide the win, and I think Cody as well. But yeah, that caution brought Mr. Wee Woo back into it. So yeah, I mean, it was, like I said, unfortunate, and also the shortening of the caution. I mean, I don't really agree with, but never mind.
Yeah, I noticed that was an admin decision. I didn't necessarily see that, but I noticed that, and all of a sudden we're kind of reviewing everything, and I'm like, oh, the lights are out on the pace car awfully quick. So I guess a little bit of a kind of real world Indy 500 theatrics going on there with a shorter caution and everything. But I mean, overall, you're gonna, I believe, the points because you finished enough ahead of Julian. And I think Julian needed to have like 53 plus or something like that heading into the next race to clinch it here today. You're still in the running for it at Fontana, but you're still alive for another week, but it's still a long road ahead of you to possibly get this championship in the series.
If only I could have done Gateway.
Go back and watch that. Go back and watch that race. You might think about.
Yeah, I did. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I mean, Julian always says he doesn't like to win in his own league, so we'll see how true that is. But yeah, Fontana. Yeah, looking forward to that, and then hopefully we race Suzuka tomorrow. Hopefully, if we get enough people. But yeah, it was Good race today. Again, the DW12s. That's 2 races in the DW12s. We've had good racing at Indy. The setup was all right today. But yeah, it was the fuel saving was. Yeah, I don't mind the racing when it's a kind of fuel save race and we're all in a line, but it gets a bit monotonous. But yeah, it would have been nice if that caution didn't come. But otherwise, it was a really good race today.
Clinton, you got anything for him?
No, Liam, thanks for being smart on track all day long and answering all of my questions before I was going to ask them.
He's a pro, man.
The restart. So, you covered all the drama, and hopefully best of luck for you at Fontana, and hopefully you don't put yourself in a Senna Prost situation.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, Fontana's always been a good track for me, but I think the gap's quite big anyway, so I'd need something. I think even if Julian turns up, I think he wins it anyway. I'm not sure, so
it might actually be that way if it's going to be a small field. You need a big field in order to help you out there.
I don't know.
Can I race at Fontana?
Yeah, I need to get Julian's girlfriend or something to not have him race or something, because I don't know. Yeah, he's gonna obviously be racing, so I think he's got it anyway. But yeah, we'll see.
Well, shout outs and friends, family, sponsors. I know that you got teammates there you want to thank, so go right ahead.
Thank you, Josh, for leading a lot of the way and burning all the fuel for me to be in a position at the end there.
That's a good teammate.
Matthias, if you got any kind of solitude or like happiness from me missing out in the same way you missed out at Fontana, and Jonas as well. I know he was struggling in the dirty air, but he was around the place in the middle there.
Yeah.
Again, I think it was another good team race. We led at the front most of the time. We were all up there. So yeah, don't know if anything much to say. I'm not going to be doing the iRacing season finale. Unfortunately, I've got exams coming up, so I'm going to be taking a bit of a break. So nice to get 2 good results before heading into that period. But yeah.
Smart man.
Thank you to you guys as always.
Smart man, taking time for school. And no, it's our pleasure as always. So congratulations on finishing second here at Indianapolis. And we will catch you whenever studies allow you to rejoin us next.
Yeah, thanks guys.
See ya. And let's bring up Murph, who I know is happy. Murph, we got you here in the booth with Gary and Clinty. I know you're happy. I know it's not the 500 you want or the Indy win you want, but it's still a win at Indy. First thing you got to do, though, and this is for anybody that wins here on Race First, is what you do when you win at Indies. You got to take a video of yourself drinking milk. You don't have to pour it on yourself, not like Caleb Bency did. But you certainly have to record yourself drinking the milk, because that's part of the fun of winning at Indy. Congratulations, sir. Talk about your race and a very timely yellow to come out right when you had your nose ahead.
Yeah, that almost didn't work. I think Josh and I realized pretty early that leading the thing was going to result in was going to wind up poorly. But who could have predicted a race like this going caution free for as long as it did? Surely there's going to be a yellow. And I'm sitting there counting, looking at race labs going, I got 7 laps. I got 6. I got 5. Would somebody hurry up and stuff one in the fence so we can get a yellow? And it came. And then, Josh gets on the radio. He's like, man, that's great. You got your yellow. And I'm like, I still can't make it even with a yellow. I still got to pit. I needed 5 gallons of gas. I'd run it that hard. But thankfully, we got a fortuitous yellow for us, and came and got some tires. And then the Race First American was on rails with light fuel and new stones. That thing was fast. I was telling Craig, I think I could have gone around him in the 3rd lane. Just had that much grip.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but Liam and Craig, awesome guys to race around, and I kind of threw a late block on Craig and broke his front wing right as the caution came out, and I feel bad about it. I would have felt bad about it, but then the caution came out and it didn't hurt anything. So, but that's coming. It's coming to the line to win at Indianapolis. You're going to make it as wide as you can. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Clinton, you got any questions for the champ?
Yeah, Mark, are you gonna maybe drink that milk out of a pickle jar?
So as you guys, I'll let the viewers in on a little secret. So, and Gary knows this. Every time we do a VOR race, every time we do a VOR race, when Julian in the drivers' meeting asks if there are any questions, I always ask him the stupidest question possible. And so today the question was, does his girlfriend have to open his pickle jars? And so every time we passed Julian, or every time we ran him on the track, we were yelling pickles at him.
And of course, he had no way to answer you guys because he didn't have any audio or radio.
Yeah, he had no mic. He had audio.
Yeah,
He didn't have a mic, so he couldn't.
He could hear you. He just couldn't respond. Yeah.
He couldn't fire back. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I love this league, man. It's it's really collegial, and everybody gets along, and we're having a good time out there. Back in the dark times, I used to stream these and stream the radio. You go back and watch some of my old stuff. It's me and Josh and Matthias and Liam at certain points, and we're going down a track 230 mile an hour, in a draft, and we're telling jokes and stories and whatever. It's a lot of fun racing to these guys and racing. It's competitive too. There's a lot of good drivers here, and man, I can't believe I got my Indianapolis win, and it's the wrong distance, it's the wrong car, but a win at Indy is always awesome.
Well, you got to do the milk. So it might not be the right distance. It is an Indy car. It is a win at Indianapolis. Not the right distance, but you still got to do the milk. You've earned that at the very least. So do that before. But before you do that, you got shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. I know the wife and all that. You got to thank her. That's the important one. So go right ahead. You got the microphone. You got the win here at Indianapolis. Take your time. Go right ahead.
Man, it's been a roller coaster week, just with races. Last night was an awesome night. So hopefully this is the first time of many times that I get to say this, but thanks to everybody at IAR for everything they do and all the support.
That's news, by the way. That's news, by the way.
Yeah. So we're actually going to finish my car right after this. So, but that's
just make sure you have race first on it. That's all.
I'll put it on the bottom of the underwing so everybody will see it.
No, don't put it underneath the car when you flip. We don't need any more. We've already seen one car for real flip today, so I don't know.
So you used to be able to paint the underwing on the IR18. You can't now, but you used to be able to do it. And when Andy first painted the first stroker race car, it had the chicken on the bottom of the car.
Oh, okay.
So just kind of a joke. But again, I mean, all the information. I mean, I spent hours last night just combing through stuff. I went to their archives and looked at this car in this race, and just the information available is tremendous. And so thanks to Jesper and Seb and Will and Chris and Rashad and Josh and everybody over there. I'm sure I'm leaving people out. Flynn. That was an awesome night last night. I got to thank you, Gary, and Race First for all your support. Obviously, Black Magic Designs. Go get yourself a paint worth 2/10. Admin box race control at the touch of a button. I got to thank the wonderful Miss Natalie.
That's the important one.
For putting up with this crazy obsession of mine. Hi to my dad, because I know he's watching. We finally got one at Indy, and man, I get to trade this. I got a truck race at North Wilkesboro tonight. So go from an IndyCar at Indianapolis to a pickup truck at North Wilkesboro. That'll be.
That doesn't feel right. But good luck.
But Clindy, awesome racing with you too, man. I will see you Tuesday night at Texas, baby.
Yeah, man. The biggest, baddest half mile +1 on the planet.
Is that the new Texas or is it the old one?
I don't know.
I think it's new. I think it's new.
With you, yeah,
all right, so we're gonna have to
love it.
We're gonna have to take some bets on who's higher, me, Clindy, or Oster. We're gonna see who can
higher on the track.
Yeah, going through turns 1 and 2. Yeah.
Oh, it'll be me. It'll 100% be me.
Who can put that baby on the fence? So, but I look forward to it. That's going to be great fun too. But thank you guys for what you do. It's It's a win in Indianapolis, man.
Congrats.
Yeah.
All right. We'll start the music to wrap things up here, but let's move Mark out of the channel so he can go celebrate. There he goes. Congrats, Mark. So I tell you what, I mean, I've got to call 3 wins here very recently from Indianapolis. Caleb Bency won the ERL 500. Very happy for him. Long-time friend. Spotted for him a number of times. Last night, Indica Scarlett. I mean, she is critical to what we are doing today. Without Indica, I am not broadcasting today. There is no race versa. And so happy to see her win. And then Mark, who kind of is the first of the second generation of the next race first, team race first drivers, and now he's part of the channel and everything. And someone that's wanted to win so bad in Indianapolis, for them to get to win, very happy for them. So I'm getting, for me to broadcast these here, very popular victories for me personally. But Clindy, last thoughts before we go, and then first thoughts going to next week at Fontana.
It feels really nice to know what you're talking about. Do basic mathematics and know who's saving and where based on the engine pitch. It makes me feel like I know what I'm talking about, and it makes us look like we do a good job here. So, because we do. And Gary, I can't thank you enough for having me on for this season, not only for the VOR Iconic Series, but for every time I get to come and commentate open wheel race cars. It's a blast.
Well, you make because that math that we didn't think was really necessary when we were kids in school is now paying off, and you make me look smarter. So thank you very much. So that's going to do it here for today. Once again, your podium from Indianapolis. Mark Murphy with the win here. Very popular for him. Very happy for him. Make sure he needs to put that video of him drinking the milk, because that's part of the fun of winning Indianapolis. Liam O'Sullivan finishes second, just by the slimmest of all margins, and it really wasn't a race to the line. It was just a race to the last timing line and when that caution came out. And Craig Forsyth, the Canadian, brings it home third. Join me and Clindy again next week for Championship Friday, the 6th and final round of Season 2 of the VOR IndyCar DW12 Iconic Series, as the teams and drivers move to the world's fastest speedway. No, not Talladega, but California Speedway in Fontana. Rest in peace. Coverage will start approximately 3 p.m. Eastern. Again, at 3 p.m. Eastern. Remember, everything you need to know. If you don't know what time zone is, you don't remember the time, whatever, just go to RaceFirst, youtube.com/RaceFirst, find the race, hit the notify me button, and you will be notified of when the race starts in your time zone. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support RaceFirst with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of today's race. And if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. And I want to tell everybody that participated in chat, again, thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate your interaction here on chat. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out on the more of Race Versus other iRacing programming. That's it for a couple days, but we will be back on the track at New Hampshire in the Dark Horse DW12 series coming up on Sunday night. Right about 8:50 p.m. So just check it out again on the channel, and you will be reminded of the time. Keep your browsers set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge and all of iRacing. Race First, we know what Indy means. The VOR DW12 Iconic Series brought to you by IFS Personal Financial Planning. IFS Personal Financial Planning specializes in helping their clients make most of their savings with holistic financial planning that is tailored to their specific needs over the course of their lifetimes. On average, they've been working with their clients for 20 years, helping them navigate the complexities of investments, the uncertainties of markets, and the ever-changing legislative landscape. Track cams provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with the Whiplash Sim Cams. Learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter, and the links are in the description. For business inquiries to learn more about what we do here at RaceFirst, visit racefirst.com, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter. So for Clindy, everyone here at RaceFirst, I'm Gary Gotzo saying happy Friday. Thanks for watching, and all our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed. God bless and come home safe. Catch us again right here next week in Fontana for Championship Friday for the next race of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar DW12 Iconic Series. See ya!